Hey, what's going on guys? My name is KarQ, and today is the final map of my Defending the Hybrid map series, Eichenwalde. Forgive me, my German brothers, if I mispronounce the map name in this entire video. In any case, the other maps are linked in the description below and should pop up on the top right corner of this video. Again, these setups and positions are from my experience, so take these as a general guideline for good hero choices and good setup positions that are pretty much standard across all games at this level. So, let's get down to business. With the way this map is designed, Eichenwalde's first point is one of the easiest points to defend and the hardest to attack. This map limits all ground walking heroes through one entrance, under this bridge. So by nature, the defenders have a huge advantage this way as there is only a single angle of attack to look out for. Therefore, attacking teams often create more angles of attack by choosing vertically mobile heroes such as Pharah, Winston, Genji, and D.Va to create some wiggle room from this limitation. So, with only one real entrance, the defensive setup goes something like this. We choose Reinhardt, the bread and butter once again for defense. He's one of the most reliable heroes who can protect your team from poke damage and to stop enemy earth shatters. Now, a popular choice that plays behind Reinhardt is Soldier 76, who is a reliable mid to long range hit scan hero that can pressure the choke point and keep vertically mobile heroes in check. Beside Soldier is Ana, who acts as the primary healer for the team and also plays a very vital role in keeping enemy Pharahs down. It is actually imperative for Ana's to land at minimum one shot in Pharah the second she is spotted so that she is unable to jiggle peek rockets from a distance. I know there is a popular misconception that Soldier is a counter to Pharah, or that you'll often hear teammates say something like, "Our Soldier sucks, he isn't dealing with Pharah." You need to understand that Soldier's fall off damage against a good Pharah playing from a distance is something like 6 damage per bullet, never mind the bullet spread from that kind of distance. The Soldier would need to land about 13 shots to do the equivalent of a single scoped shot from Ana, so without tactical visor, Pharah's good old mother is a better counter than Old Man Jack. So back to the hero choices, Soldier is important here because his biotic field is the only other source of healing Ana will have to keep herself topped off in order to save her biotic grenade for teammates and enemies. Did I say the only other source of healing Ana will have? That's right, because Symmetra sees a huge amount of play in Eichenwalde. She's extremely useful in slowing down attackers under this single choke point with her sentries. She often sets up on this bridge and spams her secondary fire down this entrance, building her ultimate extremely quickly. Teleporter is often the choice of ultimate here to keep the team coming back to defend the point as quickly as possible. Roadhog is often the choice for the off tank, played in this room, controlling enemies from the side angle and watching anyone trying to sneak into the dark corner. The final hero is usually Mei, with her ice wall being extremely effective in blocking the entire entrance. Anyone walled off is usually dead with the Roadhog collapse and a Reinhardt charge. Now once again, these are the most popular choices that I have seen. Honorable mentions are Torbjorn, with his turret being a nuisance behind the Reinhardt shield, Zarya because of her versatile kit and team wipe ability with Graviton Surge. For supports, Symmetra is sometimes replaced with the standard Lucio or even swap for Zenyatta for the Discord on Pharah or other vertical heroes if the attacking team is running a composition that counters Symmetra. So the goal of the first point is to always hold the choke. If the enemy team breaks through it, there isn't really a set position to play that I could tell you. The game isn't static and it's not so black and white, so play proactively and reactively. One quick suggestion I could give you is perhaps you'd want your support and long-range DPS to be playing on the high ground here, with the rest of your team often scattered, looking and chasing kills and taking skirmishes on and around the point. In the end, if you win, restabilize and set up again for the choke, as it is the best tactical spot to hold on defense. Now if the enemy team takes the first point, let us move on to the payload phase of the map. This section is also quite advantageous for defenders for 2 reasons. For one, they can control the high ground here and attackers are constantly having to look uphill, if you will. 2, if you manage to push it close to the checkpoint but get wiped, the respawn distance is quite favorable for defenders to restabilize and again, retake the high ground. So as defenders, you'll want to set up in the castle with Reinhardt holding here and your Ana playing on this side to keep an eye on the main road. Soldier can transition from left of Rein to the top of castle to harass and keep an eye on the castle attack. Roadhog will be playing in and around the castle looking for hooks and picks, and a secondary tank such as Zarya can fill the same role as Hog. Or alternatively, you can opt for another long-range hit scan hero such as McCree, who would do what Soldier does, or Widowmaker, who plays similar positions, although she has a bit more flexibility due to her longer range. Mei, Torbjorn, and Symmetra are often dropped during this phase because their strengths relied heavily on the small choke point on point A. The final hero slot is often Lucio because of the huge threat of booping heroes off the road during this phase of the map. With these hero choices, you can't go wrong on your defense here. As defenders, it's always better to control the high ground and drop down reactively, even if the payload is somewhere back here. The high ground gives you the best vantage point down the hill, and you can use the sound and audio cues to listen for enemies approaching below you in the castle. The high ground on the bridge and up top the castle here are terrific in spotting whether enemies are attacking head-on or attempting a push through the castle to challenge your high ground. And with everybody already up here, you can just collapse on anybody who tries to push through the stairs here. Teams may run into problems when half the tanks are on the payload while the attacking team runs all 6 through the castle to pressure your hit scan and other heroes off the high ground. Now, let's go over the final payload section of this map. The current live patch of Eichenwalde limits attackers to 2 very tiny entrances on both sides and 1 tiny door opening near the top, giving defenders a huge advantage as they only have to defend very small entrances. As of this video, a change in the PTR is in the works in which the entrance broken by the payload will no longer be closed off. Despite this upcoming change, I'm suspecting the defensive setup will remain similar to the current patch. It is tactically advantageous to set up near the door because of the limited space in the entranceway. Additionally, defending on the left side as Reinhardt and as your entire team is usually more common due to the left door and new open entrance being in line of sight from the outside. The right door is a bit limited on the vision as it requires attackers to come in and turn. If you lose a few defenders, it's definitely okay to back up and take the fight closer to the checkpoint. However, if you win the fight, restabilize by pushing up and hold the door. You don't need to get into the defensive feeling of holding further back on the point unless the payload is actually a few meters from hitting the checkpoint. The closer you hold to the entrances and take your fights here, the more time you can buy and stall for your respawns. Losing the fight here versus losing the fight here is a walking difference of 5 seconds, which may seem small in retrospect, but 5 seconds is half a respawn time. Sometimes these little differences are the defining variables in a win or a loss. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the Defending the Map series of the hybrid maps. Eichenwalde was the last one on the list, and I'll be moving on to different map styles beginning in Season 4 in anticipation for meta and hero changes. Take care and good luck in your competitive matches. Hey guys, quick final note, I'm making a big push for streaming on Twitch instead of YouTube gaming. I apologize to those who enjoyed the YouTube streams for the last 2 months, but Twitch has the superior viewing market for Overwatch beyond reasonable doubt. You can find me at twitch.tv/KarQEW.